we're going to talk about that today, and just wanted to connect with you. If you guys are here live, please say hello in the chat. And if you're on the replay, hit hashtag replay. So there's three things I want to share with you about this. There is an upside of trying to keep it all together. And what I mean by that is, first of all, we're in a very peculiar time of life right now. And everyone is feeling it. I think there's some level of commonality, which I think is pretty astonishing, actually, that we can, as a human race, as a human being, actually have more in common than not. And I know right now, for me, I am feeling this. I'm noticing it in my family members. I'm noticing it in, clients in the community, et cetera, is that there is a sense that we are, kind of, I keep using my hands. I'm like, we're trying to grasp onto something that we can be certain of, that we can hold together. And I want to just say that's a pretty normal reaction when our egoic mind, our mind over our heart, is making the decisions, trying to be in the world right now and make sense of all of it. And so the upside of trying to keep it all together is that we, number one, have the awareness that we can't. And I know that may be like, what are you talking about? But here's the thing, self-awareness, right? Personal ownership. These are the fundamentals of having change occur, having the ability to approach a situation with a new approach and a new result, for that matter. So if you find yourself, trying to keep it all together, you're staying really busy, that's potentially a signal that it's time to slow down and look at what it is that you don't want to experience about the fact that you can't keep it all together. And so awareness is number one. And so number two, the power in this is being willing and able to let go of the egoic mind, its need to keep it all together. And so I just want to share with you, I have been my kind of introverted self over the last 5 days. And even a couple of my friends have reached out and they're like, I haven't heard from you in a little while. And that's okay. I think sometimes, obviously, I've communicated with them and let them know what's up. And what's going on for me is there is a level of going inward and really looking at what's happening, what's coming up, what do I feel that's required right now. And I posted something last week that said, spring cleaning's great. And I'm so glad everybody's like jumping in and cleaning their closets and cleaning their garages and all of that. But I want to encourage you to do some deep cleaning, some spring cleaning of your inner mind and of your inner self, right? I think it's a deep clean opportunity. And one of those is to look at, why are you trying to keep it all together? What happens and who are you if you don't? And so, like I said, there's three things. One is the awareness that you can't. It's the awareness that none of us can. We can't keep it all together. That's the illusion that we live in. Number two, letting go of the ego's need to will actually set you free, will actually open up the space for miracles to occur, right? And people to support you and the universe to support you, right? When we're trying to hold it all together, remember that repels everything. That keeps everybody away. That pushes things to the side instead of allowing the support to show up. And whether it's from someone or just a feeling that you have that says, I'm supported, that can be very distant if we're not willing to let go of the ego's need to have it. And then ultimately, number three, you get to master your emotions, which is really what leads us to success. And so when we're in a situation where we are really triggered, where we're really up against the emotions and the feelings and the mental game that we're in right now, it is a huge opportunity to look at, what do I need to learn from this, right? And so the ego has a fundamental need. It's very basic, right? It's very basic. It has the need to find the certainty, to search for the rightness of the situation, to be right. And if you aren't right, or if you don't feel right, then a word that a friend of mine just mentioned in another training I was in was you might feel misunderstood. And you might feel alone, and you might feel out of sorts, and you might feel disconnected. And so that's the illusion that we live in. That's the illusion of the ego. And so I think it's a huge opportunity to do some inner work. And right in front of me, I have my journal. All right. And this sucker's getting filled up every day. And why I suggest journaling is because it gives you the space to actually become aware of what's really going on and be able to document that and to put that in paper. And so for me, one of the questions I heard as I was going inward over the last few days and really looking at what I'm feeling, what's coming up, why am I getting triggered, what are the tears about? Trust me, I've had them. And one of the things that I noticed is who am I without doing something, without the busy, without the action? And it's so coming back to like, what's the upside of trying to keep it all together? I was like, wow, I finally get to look at why I have to have it that way. Why do I have to have action in place? Right? Why do I have to have a list of to-do items? And this is not about not having a to-do item, right? And not having a to-do list. We have those. However, the need for it is a whole different conversation. It's a whole different reaction to life. And so for me, I'm still in the inquiry of that. And I think that what it comes down to is some of it, as I'm even speaking to you right now, I'm hearing a few things. And one is that I have had a very long time belief loop, as I call it, an unconscious belief loop that if I don't do it, it won't get done. That's the story I've had. I've also had some old stories that no longer serve me about if I don't take care of it, no one will. I'm not supported, so I got to take care of myself. There's nobody else that's going to do it, right? I have to take care of myself. And so all of that leaves us in the separation. All of that leads to separation. And so for me to be able to sit in the middle of who am I, if I am not busy, if I am not keeping it all together, if I don't have some type of action going on. And so I spent a couple days, being in the non-action and being in the don't push and the being in the set down the to-do list and just be in the moment. Because honestly, that's all we have is the moment. And we are so busy trying to get to the future, trying to create something, trying to make something happen, trying to get to next Friday, right? Or next month, or certainly in this situation with our self-quarantines and our pandemic going on, we are trying to get to 4 months from now when all of this is over. And I think that is the other place to be, is that the upside of trying to keep it all together is realizing we actually are not the one in control. Right? We never really have control, and looking at why you need it. Why do you need it? And why do you need the control? Who are you if you don't have control? So I want to really encourage you. I want to dare you to look at that this week. And I would love for you to share what those revelations are, because I'm finding my own, and it's creating the next person. So that I'm becoming, right? And so what I mean by that is all of this is preparation, right? If we are going to be masters of our emotions, if we're going to be consciously more aware, if we're going to actually be successful in our businesses, if we're going to be successful in our relationships and our families, we have to become something more all the time. We have to be more. And I say have to from a place of choice. So I just caught myself. Take that choice, that's the truth is you don't have to, but you can also, you get to choose the alternative, and you're either growing or not, right? You're either expanding or you're contracting. And so, so you get to choose whether you become more. And for me, that's a commitment I have, right? So hey, Annette, I see Ruama, I see Stephanie. Hello, welcome. Hey, Tara. I get to look at create the next person. Yes. So Tara, for goodness sake, you have been through, so much in your life. I know that. And I know most of you here with me have, and yet we have become more because of it. So this is just a huge opportunity for us to be more of who we are, not who we aren't. Right. This is a great opportunity for us to look at how do I become more and prepare myself for what's next, right? And what's coming, and for the visions that you have for yourself. And maybe the timeline is a little off, or the timeline is different than you expected. But that's the beauty of this. We got to live in the now, right? So the upside of trying to keep it all together is what this conversation's about. And number one is awareness that you can't. Number two is the ability and the opportunity to let go of the ego's need for it. And then ultimately, number three, mastering your emotions so you can then master life and you can be more of who you're becoming. And so when you ask yourself those questions, why do I need to hold it all together? Why do I need control? Why do I need, to have all the answers? Why do I need a deadline. I need an end date for when this pandemic's going to be over. That's not even possible, right? We don't know. We don't know. And so we have to surrender to all of that. We have to surrender to the not knowing. We have to surrender to the not controlling, and just start to quiet down. When I was thinking about the spring cleaning conversation, I noticed people are covering up their fear, covering up their emotions, covering up their truth, what's really going on underneath, by just going and getting distracted, by just getting busy. And I'm not saying don't clean the closets. Just get aware of why maybe you're cleaning them, right? Other than they look pretty. And then, do the inner work and then go clean the closet, right? Spring clean self and then spring clean the closet. So let's see. Hi, Roy. Hey, nice to see you again. And let's see, I love being able to show these. Tara, I'm going to feature you here. I love that as I look to get to create the next person. So I would love for you to share with me, what's the one thing you're willing to look at this week, right? Are you in the control conversation? Are you in the misunderstood conversation? Are you in the hurry up and get to the end of this conversation, right? Like, where are you in the current state of the world and the circumstances that are outside of us? And I would love for you to share. So if you thought this was valuable, if you would like to, share it, please tag me in it. Let other people know that there is a bigger conversation that's available to them during this time. And I would love for you to share it and so I can help as many people as possible. And of course, if you're seeing me on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the button, and then hit the little bell sign so you'll get the notifications for future videos and lives. And I always love a little like and love. So please do so. And again, share your light bulb moment from this conversation in the chats. So I appreciate you. Please stay safe and well and do your part. Wear your masks, right? Every time you go outside, and we will be stronger because of this. So I love you guys, and I will